Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with a little bit of a vlog, happy mail, chit chat, what I've been working on, a little bit of this, that, and the other. It has been a hot minute since I've done one of these videos. I haven't had a lot in the happy mail department, and that's totally fine. But I do have like 2 packages and 2 cards, so going to open those up. And also I want to show you a couple of the things that I've been working on, this, that, and the other, and a rather interesting experience that I had with Amazon recently. Yeah, yes. There's an old curse that goes something along the lines of, may you live in interesting times. Sometimes things get a little interesting. But, anywho, I hope all of you are doing really well today. And I want to thank you for joining me. Spring, it's kind of doing its thing around here. I mean, we go from really warm to, I don't even want to wear this, to, oh my God, I need a hat. Yeah, I just buzzed. I decided to do some grooming, and I buzzed my head once again the other day, and I needed it. Yeah, that, and also this was getting a little too scruffy wuffy, so it was my time to molt, at any rate. Yeah, so let's see. One of the things that I have been working on, this is gonna take me a while, I'll be the first to say. I've been working on embroidery a bunch lately. Embroidery, cross stitch, I mean, anything fiber arts, I'm a huge fan of, and cross stitch is no exception. And so I thought it would be neat to try to tackle a larger cross stitch piece. But it can be rather difficult. Especially when you literally have to count, based on a grid pattern, and then translate that onto your fabric. Typically, it's Aida cloth. It's a very stiff sort of grid cloth. It can be tricky. So I decided to kind of sort of cheat a little bit, and I got a pre-printed canvas kit. I'm still doing the stitching, but the design is already on the canvas. So I'm still doing the work, but I have to think about it that much less. So I found this kit. I rather like it, actually. It is by It Stitch, or IT Stitch. It's a cross-stitch kit, and I fell in love with the design. It is Alice in Wonderland. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Yes, it is all black and white. And so it's more of like a silhouette kind of design. And I thought, that is pretty dang cool. Now, if one were to do this with just a completely blank canvas, this could be a rather trying experience. However, the kit that I got, the canvas, yeah, it already has the design printed on it. I just have to stitch over it in the black thread. So it's really great as far as it being sort of a autopilot, mindless exercise, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I kind of took a break from it for a little bit because I've been working on another project. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit, but this is what you actually end up getting. So your canvas already has the design printed on it in the green, as you can see, and it has all those grid lines. Now, from what I understand, when you wash this, those markings and everything like that, that disappears with washing it. Let's hope so. Now, what I did actually manage to accomplish is the black that you can see right there. And it may not look like a lot of stitching, but that's a lot of stitching, trust me. And so, yeah, I'm just stitching over the green, and it's a lot of fun, believe it or not. I love mindless tedium, and this definitely fits into that. So I think it's rather fun. You know, have you ever done one of these kits before? If you have, what was your experience? Now, the only thing that I will say I'm not a huge fan of is that the way that the green is printed onto the fabric, it's not always 100% where it should be. Like sometimes it's half of a square, so then I just sort of guesstimate. But I'm rather happy. And since the color, it's all black, if I run out of the thread, not likely because they sent a ton of the embroidery floss for me to work with. If I run out, I can get more. It's black, you know, and it's the same thing as the DMC. Extra bonus that I will say that I am rather pleased about is that if I were so inclined to do this again, it came with the actual pattern on paper so that, oh, there we go. Sorry, you were upside down. So that I could translate this onto some fabric at a later point if I wanted to do it again. Cool bonus, yeah. So I give it good reviews. You know, so have you done one of these kits before? What was your experience? So far, so good. And I've been working on some other kind of cross-stitch stuff as well. But first, I think let's open up some Happy Mail, shall we? Alrighty, so first off, I have a card from Mary Beth in Texas. Now, this was postmarked March 14th. So yes, I've been holding on to some of these things for a while. I'll be the first to say. This, I have a guess that this is a St. Patty's Day card, and it is always good to get a card, no matter what the day is, you know, what time of year it is. I was saving it for a rainy day, and she sends the loveliest cards. And this one looks like it was hand done as well. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And on the inside, may your troubles be less and your blessings be more. May nothing but happiness come through your door. Mary Beth, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. And then I have a package. Now, I'm pretty sure I know who this is from. Pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but I am pretty sure. So would like to take a look in here. And I think I do also think I know not only who it's from, but what it is. But I make no assumptions. So let us take a look-see. Trying to get through this. I'm working on it. But regardless of whether it's a package or a card or a letter, I always love hearing from you guys. You guys are the best. And also want to take a moment, and I want to thank those of you that also contribute to the channel through super thanks. I do get them, and when I see the notifications, I do respond with a good old thank you. The super thanks, it's sort of like the equivalent to a super chat if, you know, a person's doing a live stream, except those can be done at any time. And it's a really sweet way for people to support YouTubers, and it's really nice. And then, of course, also, yeah, I do also get the occasional PayPal donation, and those are really helpful too. So thank you very, very much. Let's see. Oh, yep. A Knitter's Guide to Spinning. Building exactly the yarn you want. Very, very cool. Yarnitecture. And this is really cool. Now, honestly, it has been a long time. Look at all these beautiful diagrams. It has been a really, really long time since I've done any spinning. I will be the first to admit, but better late than never, right? So if I'm not mistaken, this is from Brenda. It does not say on here. There's no markings of return address or anything like that. But if I'm correct, thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, we were doing a sort of a offline Zoom party chat thing, and I was asked if I had that book, and would I be interested? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, it's always great to have resources, and especially, you know, educational resources as far as books or patterns or stuff like that, just to get inspiration if nothing else. Always a huge bonus and always appreciated. So thank you very, very much. Now, speaking of other fiber crafts, like I was mentioning before, with the embroidery and the cross stitch and so forth, there is a technique called blackwork. It doesn't have to be done in black thread, but that was how it was done traditionally. It is a very old technique of decorating fabric. And so I started dabbling with it again. And I've done a number of different pieces. Typically, I like to do bookmarks because they are small, therefore they are easy to finish, and I think they're rather fun. Now, I'll show you a couple of different stages of them being done. Now, this one I have yet to put a border on, but so this is, you know, just some sort of, you know, cute little pink flowers done in a repetitious fashion. Now, like I said, this does not have a border around it. This next one, I did put a border around, but I didn't finish it. This one is a sort of Celtic knotwork that I had done, something that I designed with some graphing program that I have on my phone. It's a really great app on designing Blackwork. I've always been fascinated with Celtic artwork, and so that is the front of it. The back of it looks like this, and I've always heard this said, that the back of your piece should look as neat as the front of your piece. I'm not going to win any beauty contest awards, but, you know, I think it's pretty neat. And then once I'm ready to keep going with this, then what you do is you then sort of fringe out your, you know, the remaining threads around the border, and you just pluck out those threads. And then, which I don't have any examples on hand, but then what I like to do is I like to take some felt and glue it onto the back so that it hides the back stitching, but also gives it a little bit more substantial, you know, nature. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit stiffer, and I think it looks a little bit neater. Also, it hides the back. But here's another one that I had designed. Really, really happy with how this one came out. Like I said, I love Celtic knotwork. And eventually, I know, as far as my Etsy store, I have been kind of MIA as far as posting new things, but I would love to get these up on my Etsy store, you know, at some point. When? I don't know, but I'm just saying that, you know, it's in the mix. It's something I'm, you know, working on, but I love, you know, bookmarks of this nature. I do. And then we have a lovely fleur-de-lis. Now, this one I did not design, but I absolutely love the design. I made another one, and I gave it to a friend of mine for his birthday. And this one also, it's sort of an all-over sort of woven print. Absolutely love how these look. And then some gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. You know, it makes me think of sort of like an Asian textile kind of look. Either that or perhaps like a mosaic Moroccan tile print makes me think of that. And, you know, it keeps me busy, you know. I like to do, you know, various and different things, and, you know, anything to do with fiber arts, you know, that is, as you guys know, that is my Jimmy Jam. And then this rather lovely sort of chain link looking one. I love the variety of the different stitches and techniques. So yeah, it's called Blackwork. Check it out. There are 1,000,001 different patterns out there, and it's really not difficult to create your own. You just need some graph paper. So, that being said, we have a little bit more to open, so let's do that. Alrighty, so next up, this is from Colorado, and this is from Nola. This was the most recent one that I had gotten. And we've got a lovely barn with some red flowers. It makes me think of Dorothy's farmhouse crashing into Oz, and it's the field of poppies. That's the first thing that pops into my head. Let's see. Dear Craig, I want to tell you I love your channel. I'm 56 years old now, and when I was about 13 years old, I wanted to learn how to crochet or knit so badly, but life at the time would not accommodate. Understandable. You know, life often has other plans for us. Many, many years later, YouTube came along. Accommodations granted. Your channel is great for so many reasons. Visually beautiful. You're so encouraging. Your voice is comforting, and I like being a spiderette. I don't normally write letters to strangers. Hey, I'm not a stranger. I'm just strange. But your channel helps me so much. I wanted to say hi and thank you. Your fan, Nola. Oh, P.S. I'm getting a fiber spider mug soon. Well, thank you very much for your support. Yeah, it's not something that I normally, go on about. I do have merchandise through Teespring. I don't even know if it's still active because I haven't been on there in so long. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be, but it's not something that I, plug, ceaselessly, as far as merchandise. I'm much more geared towards my Etsy store, as far as the patterns and that sort of thing. That's really much more of where my interest is because it's something that I personally am producing as opposed to having a third party produce it and it just has my logo on it. To me, it is my logo, but it's less personal, if that makes any sense. Speaking of which, speaking of Etsy, I have been working on a new knit shawl pattern for you arachnits out there. Yes, I've been working on a knitted shawl pattern. I'm really, really happy with it. I've been feverishly working on it, and I actually wrote the pattern for it. I wrote it out, and I had it tested by one person, my good friend Buddy at Spun Together. And also I'm having Spring, the fiber enthusiast, also test it out. So far, no kinks. And I'm currently working on the sort of demo piece so that I can show you what the finished piece looks like. Knitting always takes longer than crocheting. It's just, the nature of the beast. But it is a very simple pattern. Once you get into that groove, technically, you only need to worry about a 4-row repeat, which is a beautiful thing. Granted, technically, it's an 8-row repeat, but 4 of those 8 rows are just all purl rows. So you only have to worry about 4 of the 8 rows. So it's a 4-row repeat in my opinion. So I have every intention of putting that pattern up on my Etsy store as soon as I'm ready to do the video tutorial, as soon as I'm finished with the initial demo piece prototype. That being said, I hope that you're looking forward to it as much as I am because I think you guys are going to really like it. But I'm not going to give you no visual sneak peeks. I'm just telling you that it is on its way. Yes. I will tell you that much. Now, I also have a box here from Amazon, and yes, I have been holding on to this one for a while. I don't see a date on here, but I know it's been a while. So, now, just so you know, if ever, any of you want to send me something and you don't see me open it up right away, well, sometimes I bide my time. Sometimes I like to sort of wait for the proverbial rainy day, to open up stuff. So please do not be discouraged and do not take it the wrong way if I don't open it up right away. Because you guys know I always, always, always appreciate. Now, if I can just get into this sucker. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There we go. And I'm almost there. And the return address, it's looks like Cloetta from New Jersey, but I don't know if that's the the Amazon seller or the sender of the contents. I don't know, but we will find out. Now, what do we have here? Ooh, I see jelly beans. And there's a note. It says, oh, it's from Mary Beth. Again, she's such a sweetheart. Mary Beth, you spoil me rotten, and I thank you for that. My mom would say I'm already rotten. Oh, this looks good. And my sweet tooth is always on, hyperdrive active mode. Hey! This bubble wrap is giving me issue. Wow. Gourmet jelly beans, the Jelly Bean Planet. 36 huge flavors. Non-GMO. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. Literally. Oh my! And when they say there's a lot of flavors, they weren't kidding. It looks sort of like a Jelly Belly kind of thing. French vanilla, pear, butterscotch, passion fruit, licorice, coconut, cola. Ooh, I like cola. Mint, English blackberry, cafe latte. Ooh, up my alley. Cotton candy, marshmallow, grape, strawberry smoothie, tangerine, pomegranate, kiwi, bubblegum, wild cherry, pina colada, tropical punch, pink grapefruit, watermelon, blueberry, lemon lime, mango, raspberry. Thank you so much. These will not survive long. I will say that. They definitely will not survive very long. And I thank you very, very, very much. My goodness. Now I have the anecdote that I was referring to before regarding Amazon. So, not that long ago, the other week, I decided that because I was doing more in the knitting spectrum, that I wanted to get another set of knitting needles. And they are, at the moment, they are my absolute favorite knitting needles as far as the circular interchangeable sets. By the way, no, this video is not sponsored. Although, if Xiaogu ever wants to sponsor me, hey, I'm listening. So, these are my Xiaogu interchangeable knitting needles. I love these. And I've been through a lot of different knitting needle sets before. I used to use the straight needles, and then I discovered the magical, wonderful world of working with circular needles. And I worked with the Clover brand needles. It was the Takumi needles. Those are great if you like working with bamboo. And if you're afraid of your yarn slipping off of your needles, those are awesome, especially for beginners, in my opinion. Once you get more comfortable and you want needles that are more slick, then I started working with, I think it was the Addies, and those are great too. However, I wasn't a huge fan of the cords because they would often retain sort of their muscle memory and they would get a little bit kinked. Then I discovered these. I took a chance and I really, 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 really love them because the cords, they don't get kinked, and the needles themselves, they're nice, they're slick, and as far as interchanging them, they work really, really well. And so this, what I'm going to show you, this is the complete set. So it has sizes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the smalls. And then the larges are size 9, 10, 10.5. Yes, there is a difference, believe it or not. So 10, 10.5, 11, 13, and 15. And then they also come with these cords. And now the trick, sort of the caveat, is that there are small cords that go with the small needles, big cords that go with the big needles, and you can't interchange them, unfortunately. But they work really well. They work really, really well. So as far as the cord lengths, there's 14 inches, 22 inches, and 30 inches. Now this is for this particular set. These are the 5-inch long needles. They also have a 4-inch long needle set if you want to go with different lengths. Like if you want to do, I think it's like a 16-inch total length for like doing hats or something like that. That might be more up your alley. And another great feature about these is they come with a little teeny itty bitty little adapters so that you can take two of the cords, join them together to create a longer cord. Rather convenient. Now, that was rather long-winded, but so I ordered a set from Amazon. Typically, I don't have a problem. And, I had seen, this set a little bit cheaper than what I normally get it for. And I thought, ooh, cheaper. Oh. There's something to be said for bargain hunting. Sometimes you just don't get what you paid for. And that happened to me. Yeah, because I ordered the complete set, this that I'm holding right in my hand right now, but no, they sent me the small set. So instead of getting all of those gorgeous needles, no, it only had half of those needles because it was construed as the small set. So they only sent the small needles and the small cords, but that's not what I paid for. And granted, these are not cheap, but they're worth it. And I can't stress that enough. They are very much worth it. So I contacted them, so that I could do a return and exchange. Okay. So then the replacement came. Guess what? It happened again. Not only did they send me only the small needles, but they didn't even send any cords that time either. I'm like, oh, this is a whole bunch of not helpful. So there was a bit of back and forth. I was trying to chat with one of their customer service reps, and it was funny because I could return one of them to a nearby Kohl's because they do, pickups there. The other one I had to drive like way out of my way because the two items came from two different warehouses, but it was from the same vendor. Bureaucratic nonsense at its best, I must say. So, I was not daunted. Oh no, I wanted my needles, and I was going to get my needles. Better believe it. So, I went through a different vendor on Amazon altogether. I believe it is Add Power Brands. It's like ADD Power Brands is the vendor. Yes, it was a little bit more money, but I actually got what I paid for. And this is the result, and I'm happy with it. So, word to the wise. If it's on, a cheaper price, yeah, well, there might be a reason for that. Now, I'm not going to say what the vendor's name was, because, they can live with their own problems. I don't need to exacerbate it. But yeah, Add Power Brands, I have not had any problem with them. In fact, yeah, I had gotten sets of theirs previously and didn't have any problems with them either. It was just when I decided, oh, I'm going to try to save a buck or two. Yeah, that's what happens. So, be careful, because also at first I thought I was mistaken. I was like, no, I did order the complete set. I looked over, the listing and so forth. It's like, no, I didn't order the small set. I know I'm kvetching. I'm just trying to help raise awareness, that uh, if something is at a cheaper price, it's not necessarily a good thing, but I'll leave it at that, but yes, this will particularly help me because the demo piece of the shawl that I'm currently working on, it will really help if I could attach one of those cords to the cord that I'm currently working on. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm really, really, really liking the progress that I'm making with that. At any rate, that is enough of my kvetching for the needles. But if you are in the market for a circular knitting needle interchangeable set, I couldn't recommend the Chiaogus more. I've used them many, many times for many, many projects, and they have never disappointed me. The only time I've been disappointed is with, incompetent vendors, but the needles themselves, I absolutely love. And that being said, yeah. On a completely unrelated note, lately I've been on very much a Stephen King kick. Yes, I used to absolutely love reading Stephen King's work, starting when I was 13 years old. And I read a ton of his books, and for whatever reason, I don't know, I've been on this King kick lately. And I've been rereading a bunch of the books that I read like 20 plus years ago. Um, and, started with Carrie, and then I moved on to Salem's Lot, and then The Dead Zone, and then Firestarter, and right now I'm currently working on Needful Things. Now, I don't think I ever read Needful Things before. I think I only watched the movie, but rather enjoying it, definitely. For those of you that are familiar, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I'm up to the point where Nettie and Wilma, they're about to have, shall we say, some fisticuffs, and the fit is going to hit the shan. Um, yeah, and things are about to get real. But no, it's really well written, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm thinking maybe next, maybe I'll go into reading it, which I remember when I was in, I think, middle school or high school. It took me an entire summer to read that one. It's over 1,000 pages. Um, but yeah, I've been rather enjoying myself with that. Have any of you read Stephen King novels? Now, I know that the genre of horror is not for everybody. I get that, but if any of you have, what was your favorite Stephen King book and or Stephen King movie? I have seen many of them. In fact, I've probably seen more of the movies than read the books. I think one of the ones that resonated and terrified me the most as a child was Pet Cemetery. Yeah. Now, looking back on it now, there are aspects of it that are laughably bad, but when you are a child and you see little Gage, that's enough to terrify anybody and make them leery about, some little person hiding under their bed, um, good stuff. I think that was one that perhaps, resonated with me most when I was younger. But as far as, my general favorites, well, I mean, I like, okay, I like The Shining, but I like Stanley Kubrick's rendition of The Shining more than I like Stephen King's rendition of The Shining, which is kind of ironic, but so be it. Also, I really do like Salem's Lot. However, there were so many things that they did wrong with it, especially in the original made-for-TV style version of it. If you're dead, it doesn't mean you're turquoise, okay? Yeah. Similar mistake that they made in the original Dawn of the Dead. Yes, just because you're dead doesn't mean that you are literally turquoise. Okay. Yes, they've improved some with the makeup since then. Um, the remake did have some merits, definitely. Carrie, I mean, they've done two remakes and a sequel to that since, but, Sissy Spacek, incredible actress. Um, Trying to think. I'm drawing a bit of a blank here. But no, I've seen a bunch of his works. It's good stuff. So yeah, give me your input. Curious as to what you think about his books, his movies. Oh, Shawshank Redemption. Most people don't know that that was him, but yeah, originally it was called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. It was a novella in a book called Different Seasons. And in the same book, you had it was a novella called The Body, which was then turned into Stand By Me, a movie that I grew up with. And my parents, of course, didn't want me to watch it because of the absolutely foul language. You know, it only rubbed off on me just a little bit. Um, but I mean, that was a great coming of age story. Another one in that same book, Apt Pupil, that was an incredible movie with Ian McKellen and Brad Renfro, I believe. Um, you know, Good stuff. Cat's Eye, painfully dated, but good. Yeah, he wrote a lot of really good stuff. Children of the Corn. I mean, again, it's kitschy by today's standards, but it's become one of those canonical pieces. But anywho, I digress. So, listen, everybody. I want to thank all of you for watching today. I hope you're having a really great day, and you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day, and thank you very, very much. Bye.